Cinematic slow tracking shot of Victorian London Thames riverbank at golden hour sunset. Industrial smoke billowing from factory chimneys silhouetted against orange sky. Volumetric fog rolling over dark water. Horse-drawn barges in foreground. Chiaroscuro lighting, sepia-toned color grading. 1850s historical reconstruction wide, establishing shot of foggy Victorian London dockyard at dawn. Wooden sailing ships with tall masts casting long shadows. Workers in flat caps loading cargo. Cool blue-gray color palette, atmospheric haze, gas lamps, glowing warm amber. Cinematic depth of field. Low-angle tracking shot following muddy cobblestone street leading to River Thames. Horse-drawn carriages with large wooden wheels splashing through puddles. Victorian pedestrians in period clothing. Dramatic side lighting from gas lamps. Deep blacks and warm highlights aerial-style wide shot of Victorian London Bridge, crowded with pedestrians and horse carriages. Thames River flowing beneath with steamboats. St. Paul's Cathedral dome in background through industrial smoke. Golden hour backlighting, painterly texture. Slow pan across Victorian Riverside Warehouse District. Brick buildings with arched windows, wooden crates stacked on docks. Workers in waistcoats and suspenders, volumetric light rays piercing through fog. Gritty realism tracking shot moving through narrow alley between riverside warehouses, hanging laundry, creating foreground framing. Mudlarks searching through mud in background, cool damp color palette, shallow depth of field. Wide shot of Victorian steam ferry departing from Thames Dock at twilight. Passengers in top hats and shawls boarding. Gas lamps reflecting on water surface. Smoke from ferry chimney drifting across frame. Amber and coal-black palette close-up tracking shot of Thames riverbank with industrial waste and debris. Barefooted children in ragged clothes searching for valuables. Dramatic chiaroscuro lighting, deep sepia grading, socially contrasting atmosphere. Establishing shot of Victorian London skyline from river perspective at dusk. Multiple factory chimneys releasing thick smoke. Church spires piercing through haze. Golden orange sky gradient. High contrast silhouettes. Slow dolly shot through Victorian fish market near Thames. Vendors in aprons calling out wicker baskets full of catch. Buyers in various class attire. Bustling crowd movement. Layered composition with smoke in background. Cinematic tracking shot following Victorian horse-drawn omnibus through Cobblestone Street. Passengers on top deck in period costume. Gas street lamps lining the road. Volumetric fog at ground level. Warm gaslight glow against cool shadows. Low-angle shot of horse hooves and wooden carriage wheels splashing through muddy Victorian street puddle. Slow-motion effect, dramatic side lighting. High-detail texture on mud and cobblestones. Wide shot of busy Victorian London intersection, multiple horse carriages crossing paths, street vendors with carts, pedestrians in top hats and bonnets, layered atmospheric depth with smoke tracking, shot down narrow Victorian cobblestone alley, brick row houses on both sides, laundry hanging overhead, a single horse-drawn cart passing through. Natural lighting with deep shadows, establishing shot of Victorian High Street at midday, shop fronts with painted signs, pedestrians, window shopping, delivery wagons, organ grinder with monkey, bustling atmosphere, soft diffused lighting through haze. Cinematic shot of Victorian police constable Peeler in tall hat and dark uniform patrolling foggy street at night. Gas lamp creating amber pool of light, silhouetted figures in background wide-angle shot of Victorian Market Square, flower sellers with baskets. Newspaper boys shouting headlines, gentlemen in tailcoat tipping hat, varied class representation. Dynamic crowd movement, slow tracking shot following Victorian street sweeper with broom clearing horse manure from cobblestones. Realistic gritty detail. Morning light breaking through fog, working class authenticity. Low-angle shot of Victorian gentleman's boots stepping onto cobblestone from carriage. Ornate carriage door with family crest. Servant holding door. Sharp focus foreground with blurred background wide cinematic shot of Victorian funeral procession. Black horse-drawn hearse with glass sides, mourners in black following behind, solemn atmosphere. Overcast gray sky, dramatic lighting, majestic low-angle shot of Victorian Crystal Palace exterior, with glass panels reflecting golden hour sunlight. Crowds in formal Victorian attire entering, symmetrical composition, architectural grandeur. Slow pan across St. Paul's Cathedral dome at sunset, scaffolding and construction visible. Victorian London rooftops in foreground. Volumetric light rays through smoke. Epic scale wide establishing shot of Victorian Gothic Revival Church, with pointed arches and spire, fog rolling around base, gas lamps in churchyard, evening blue-gray color palette cinematic, shot through ornate Victorian iron gate into grand estate courtyard. Horse-drawn carriage approaching mansion entrance, servants waiting, upper-class opulence, warm interior lighting visible through windows. Tracking shot along Victorian neoclassical building facade with tall columns, pedestrians in formal wear ascending steps, architectural symmetry, dramatic shadows from afternoon sun, wide shot of Victorian railway station interior, iron and glass roof structure, steam locomotives releasing smoke, passengers with luggage, bustling activity, volumetric lighting through haze establishing shot of Victorian workhouse exterior, imposing brick building with small windows, poor families entering, gray overcast sky, somber mood, social commentary aesthetic, slow dolly shot through Victorian covered market arcade, ornate iron framework, vendor stalls with goods, shoppers in period costume, natural light filtering through glass roof low angle, cinematic shot of Victorian factory building with tall brick chimney releasing black smoke, workers entering shift, industrial revolution atmosphere, gritty realism, wide shot of Victorian public square, with ornate fountain centerpiece surrounding Georgian architecture, various classes of people passing through, pigeons flying, balanced composition, atmospheric shot inside dimly lit Victorian pub, gas lamps casting warm glow, working class men in caps, drinking ale, barmaid serving, smoke-filled air, intimate shallow depth of field, cinematic shot of Victorian upper-class dining room, long table set with fine china and candelabras, servants in livery standing by walls, warm firelight and candlelight, opulent detail wide shot of Victorian factory floor interior, rows of workers at machinery, steam and smoke filling air, dangerous working conditions visible, dramatic industrial lighting through high windows. Tracking shot through Victorian slum interior, cramped single room with multiple family members, minimal furniture, dim natural light through broken window, harsh social realism, establishing shot of Victorian theater interior, ornate balconies filled with audience in formal wear, stage curtain, gas footlights, anticipatory atmosphere slow pan across Victorian gentleman's study, mahogany furniture, globe, books, oil paintings, man in smoking jacket, reading by fireplace, warm amber lighting, refined atmosphere, wide shot of Victorian schoolroom, rows of children in uniforms at wooden desks, strict schoolmaster at blackboard, natural light through tall windows. Disciplined atmosphere cinematic shot of Victorian hospital ward, rows of metal beds with patients, nurses, in white caps and aprons. Dim lighting, sterile but primitive medical conditions tracking shot through Victorian millinery shop interior. Shelves of elaborate hats, lady customers trying on bonnets, shopkeeper assisting, soft diffused lighting, detailed period props. Atmospheric shot of Victorian opium den interior, figures reclining on low beds, smoke-filled air, dim red and amber lighting. Mysterious and haunting mood cinematic wide shot of Victorian London street during heavy rain, pedestrians with umbrellas hurrying past, horse carriages splashing water, gas lamps reflecting on wet cobblestones. Moody blue-gray atmosphere, slow-motion shot of Victorian chimney sweep boy, emerging from narrow chimney on rooftop, soot-covered face, London skyline with smoking chimneys in background, golden hour light, social documentary style. Wide establishing shot of Victorian London in thick pea-soup fog. Barely visible silhouettes of buildings and people, gas lamps creating amber halos. Mysterious and atmospheric tracking shot following Victorian flower girl selling bouquets on foggy street corner, ragged shawl, bare feet contrasting with well-dressed passers. Be ignoring her. Social inequality themed cinematic shot of Victorian night watchman with lantern walking through deserted alley, dramatic shadows on brick walls, eerie quiet atmosphere, single source lighting, wide shot of Victorian London snow scene, horse carriages leaving tracks through fresh snow, pedestrians in heavy coats, gas lamps glowing warm, peaceful winter atmosphere slow pan across Victorian rooftop vista at sunrise, smoking chimneys in every direction. Church bells visible, birds flying, morning light breaking through industrial haze, tracking shot through Victorian Park Hyde Park style. Well-dressed families promenading, children with hoops, nannies with prams, autumn trees, leisure class recreation, soft natural lighting. Cinematic shot of Victorian Guy Fawkes, night celebration, bonfire burning. Crowd of various classes gathered, children holding sparklers, dramatic firelight illuminating faces. A festive atmosphere wide establishing shot of Victorian London at night from elevated position. Countless gas street lamps creating grid of amber lights, smoke rising from thousands of chimneys. Dark atmospheric sky, epic scale showing the big smoke,